time is this growth of themes from buildings into infrastructure into cities, and a series of issues and problems essentially, continue to plague us. And as an engineer, I'm always looking for solutions, and I think the panel here has some really great insight into some of the issues that we're dealing with. Just want to introduce the panel quickly here. David Burke, who is principal of Grimshaw Architects in New York. I've known him for a while, and they've done fantastic work planning and architecture. Melissa Wright-Ellis is in the Department of Energy Management and the Department of Citywide Administrative Services in New York, in charge of some very interesting projects tackling energy efficiency in New York City. And Reese Hardy is the founder of Sherwood Design Engineers and a really talented civil and environmental engineer. So we actually have a great mix of skills, I think, on the panel to talk about this wider area of interest. So if you want to go next. This is something that I keep going back to time coming. I like Thomas Friedman in terms of we're obviously screwing lots of things up. Keep going. Also Paul Hawken and natural capitalism is very interesting in that we are going against trends somehow in terms of value. We're actually wasteful in terms of free market capitalist system. There's something odd about that. And there's something odd that we've actually designed these things into our daily lives. There's something quite frightening about that. Keep going. This slide was shown earlier, but this is very important. The buildings occupy a significant portion of our energy infrastructure and growing. Go to the next slide. Should be evident that carbon emissions in a city are dominated by buildings. And the whole issue of reuse of existing buildings is all around this. And how will markets respond to this? This is what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in the moral solution to it as much as I am. I'm interested in the market-driven solutions. What is happening? And how does this balance of regulation and design really fit together? Keep going. So strategies driving change. I'm just going to throw out some ideas here and go to my 110 and 100 splits on buildings. Buildings at a scale of 1, infrastructure at a scale of 10, and cities at a scale of 100. My first issue here is building material and performance. I'm seeing this. We see this all the time where we're moving from bricks and mortar to performance. Going next slide. It's not about concrete blocks. It's about screens, diagnostics, and energy. Net zero. This is becoming a reality that we can actually design individual buildings in a low impact type of way. This is a project that we designed. Keep going. Which achieve living building standard, which only 3 in the United States have, and this is now above LEED, and we're moving towards a new standard. Simulation in buildings, we've seen a number of ideas here, how simulation interweaves with all of these things. Keep going. What we can do to actually look very iteratively at energy demand at the early stages of a project is critical. Next slide. In terms of infrastructure, just some themes to throw out here. Smarter grid and energy supply in terms of, we all know that the losses that are light bulbs in this room are losing so much energy getting energy to our supply. We need more energy at source. Carbon reduction. We talked about this value penalty. What is the true price of carbon? What would, if carbon was priced accurately, what would be your rent in a New York City apartment? It probably would be 10 or 15% more because of the carbon that you're actually outputting. It's pretty frightening the valuation issues on that. Water, not to fly away from energy very quickly. Water balance is becoming commonplace on an individual project, but also restoration of natural ecosystems and trying to duplicate natural ecosystem use with water use in terms of cities and restoring urban habitats. And urban efficiency and renewal, the High Line, which we're happy to be part of the project, is just a great example of just an urban renewal area, and all of us who live in New York know that very well. So last is going into cities. Data mining and management is all over the place, and many people refer to this. Seeing a lot of work in terms of mapping people's portfolios and projects. Next, larger scale carbon nature, we call it 0E. When starting to look at millions of square feet of space. This is possible now. Looking at actually energy balancing and renewables to take up the last piece. This is possible. Starting to look at millions of square feet of actually energy balanced areas of cities. And finally, the cost, the true cost of public health. What are our real true costs? Our healthcare in the United States goes up 15 to 20% a year. I mean, that is tied into at some level of the quality of our built environment. It's all linked together. I leave it to my panel to start picking this apart.